Can't hear. Are you guys?
Joe, is it just you and me?
Yeah, can you hear anybody, Jim?
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, me and you.
Now they're all there. Now we started talking about them.
Can you hear them?
No.
Hi, I'm just getting the Facebook Live set up. I'm so sorry. I just need to turn off so that doesn't happen.
There we go, Jim.
That's
Jim and I
the
thought we
answer.
were having a meeting
Now we
at
know.
two. All right.
Yeah. How's everything in your world?
Well, it's as I get older, it's supposed to get easier, but it's getting harder, Jim.
I don't realize we can hear that.
Oh, what is that feedback?
That.
Who is that though?
It's our
Oh,
TV
it's our TV.
echoing.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. That's the, now can they hear us now?
They should.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Joe.
Excellent. We're
Joining
still
now.
okay.
It's just the connection part.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, everyone.
Jim, are we good? Oh, good.
Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Broome County Industrial Development Agency of June 15th, 2022. Looking for approval on the transcript of our meeting of May 18th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve is corrected.
Thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions, comments on that discussion? If not, we'll have a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Moving on, where we come to the part of our agenda where we have our public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak on any matter concerning the IDA, feel free to state your name and address for the record, and please limit your comments to 5 minutes. Nobody in the crowd. We'll call this public comment session to a close. Executive Director's Report.
Just a few quick things just to address the board on, or excuse me, update the board on. Just a quick note relating to open meeting clause. The executive order from the governor on allowing us to do remote meetings has been extended for 1 month. So they seem to fall right about the day before our meetings. So we check regularly, but we are still now good for another month for a remote meeting cycle. We did, just a quick note, we held our annual breakfast, our first in 2 years, on June 7th, and we had a nice turnout. A lot of positive feedback on that moving forward, and actually 1 to 2 hopeful projects. A couple companies that were in attendance that are looking to expand followed up with us afterwards, and have a few meetings set up on our services that they weren't quite aware of. So that was a successful event. Next week, I will be presenting for the 2nd year in a row. Every year, New York State Economic Development Council does a sort of a 101, a basic economic development course. We typically send all of our new staff through that program. I don't think we have any right now, but I'll be presenting on the 28th in Albany at that event. providing an overview of our services, but also sort of the organizational structure of the Leadership Alliance. So two other items are CDBG grants. This is the $1 million grant program we partnered with Broome County Planning on to provide assistance to businesses as they continue to recover from COVID. We believe, we are hopeful that our first grant, the state will approve and enable us to be paid out. We do have the check cut from the county, which is an indication that the state is nearing their readiness to approve. So just a quick synopsis of the sequencing. We vet and review and prepare all the applications. They then go to the county planning for quick review. Then they go up to the state, which is where a lot of it's been held up. But we do think, once this first one goes, we'll know better the format the state would prefer these to be in, and we can move forward because we do have all of the money expended as far as applications. So we're hopeful to get that money out the door. And then lastly, it's been some time, but I know at one point in time in 2021, I reported Brendan was working closely with Southern Tier 8 on ARC, Appalachian Regional Commission dollars, to do a phase 2 of our site inventory analysis. This was a request for $150,000 in funds from ARC to do a deeper dive into a lot of our potential development sites. We have reached, so that also goes through a state review, then a federal review, which is an indication that we're getting near. So I think we just have a final notification coming anytime now. So those will be funds that we can use to expand our site analysis. And I think that is all that I have for my report.
Good, I'm very busy. Just kidding.
No.
Thank you. Any questions for Stacy? Moving on, internal financial reports. I trust everybody's had a chance to review them. Are there any questions for Stacy on those?
And then we'll just note the transition account. We'll be doing a sweep of that 308,000. That is the account that when treasuries mature, they sit in that account, and then they go into our investment account. However, I am looking at a few potential studies, feasibility studies, germane economic development, that I may be coming to the board to utilize some of those funds maybe next month.
Any questions on the financial reports? Loan activity reports, any questions for Natalie on those reports? Moving onward to new business, item number 6, resolution accepting an application from OCSH Binghamton Holdings LLC and authorizing a New York State and local sales and use tax exemption in an amount not to exceed $37,176 for a term not to exceed 12 months, consistent with the policies of the agency in connection with the construction, renovation, equipping of the property and building located at 257 Washington Street in the city of Binghamton, County of Broome, State of New York. Stacy.
Yes, this is a request from Kevin Finley, who is on the meeting today remotely. Should the board have any questions? 257 Washington Street in the city of Binghamton, I believe, was once a former Boys and Girls Club across from the Assembly of God facility. Kevin is looking for a small business sales tax exemption and the amount of $37,176 for a project with total cost of about $756,000. The project includes the conversion of existing large apartments into 1-bedroom and studio apartments, and that's based on current market demand for smaller units and studios. The construction of 5 new studio apartments in the lower level, the basement level, construction of a community room, installation of heat pumps in the renovated apartments and new studios, a modernized control access system, and then the installation of new roofs, doors on the south side of the building, and the replacement of windows that are currently older than 6 years old. This, again, the total amount of the sales tax exemption is $37,176. No need for public hearing based on that amount.
Any questions for Stacy or the developer?
See that they're from Poughkeepsie, the developer or the CM, whatever they want to call them. That is listed in the application.
The Kevin, your CM is that?
They're listed in Poughkeepsie. So you've reached out to local contractors for bidding of this project? Or you will?
Everybody that we're trying to use is local, yeah.
Okay.
And there will be the notification requirement as part of the sales tax.
Right, we're gonna comply with that. The other thing is, we have, so we can have a correct type of insurances, we have a little construction company to do some of the smaller aspects of the project. And there's, trying to count right now, we have 3 guys that we brought on, and another guy is gonna start the 5th of July after he's back from vacation. And there's another guy I'm talking to. So as much as possible, as far as the construction work is local, some of the accoutrements, the fancy Murphy beds that we're planning for the studios and those sorts of things are going to come out of New York City. They're imported from Italy, but other than that, everything's local. I can't even think of one person that's not a local contractor.
Thank you. Any other questions for the developer, Stacy? Mayor, this came through governance?
Yes, it did. So we move it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, resolution authorizing the Board of Directors of the agency, Broome County IDA LDC, to approve the request to close the ARC grant NY-6007 and subsequent amendments totaling $1,727,472.79 and not a penny more, plus net program income. In addition, a revised revolving loan fund RLF plan is recommended by the executive director and staff that will follow the access to capital projects application and operating guidelines updated on May 16th, 2022. And resolve further that the RLF plan shall provide guidance for the new RLF and is directed to assist local businesses and to strengthen the area's investment capital, and improve economic development. Further, that the RLF plan outlines the purpose of the RLF, new ARC reporting requirements, and flexibilities permitted by ARC during the life of the RLF. Wow.
We did that. We did that.
Can you make
His
that,
response.
can you make that just a little briefer for us?
To refresh everyone's memory, the ski revolving loan fund provides low interest financing to small businesses in the 8-county ski region, unable to fully finance their projects with equity, conventional financing, or other private and public sources. Back in 1995, we received over $1.7 million from ARC for the Steed revolving loan fund. Since that time, ARC has established new operating guidelines for its programming. So in order for us to be able to adopt those new guidelines and continue using the funds that we have, we must agree to close out the existing program. With the new guidelines, the program will continue to be essentially the same, but there are a few changes. We're now able to lend to nonprofits, local governments, and social enterprises. And the annual reporting on the Steed loan program is no longer required. This will lessen the administrative burden. Our ARC feels that if you've had a successful RLF program for over 7 years, there's no need no need for them to track or report on the funding. We will continue to track and report internally and provide the board with the yearly report that we have been doing. ARC's only requirement is that we update our guidelines to reflect these new changes, present them a board resolution with the language John stated, and sign the agreement to close the original ARC revolving loan fund. I provided you all with our new Steed guidelines and the new ARC operating guidelines. Anyone have questions?
With that in mind, Mayor,
Yes, it's
you had the painful process of going through this twice.
governance did consider it, and we move it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank
Second.
you, Dan.
Second.
Thank you, Joe. Any discussion or questions? With that in mind, let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Carried. Item number 8, resolution authorizing the agency, Broome County IDA Board of Directors and all its committees to use video conferencing technology to participate in public meetings under extraordinary circumstances as set forth in Exhibit A attached here too.
Yes, so per our discussion last month, this is a follow-up, but with changes to open meetings laws for the continuation of remote meeting, the state has made some changes to that by resolution. We have to adopt a policy that would enable us to provide the ability to do remote video and teleconferencing for, I think, through 2024, if I'm correct. But with that comes a need to have extraordinary circumstances in which why a board member would not be able to attend in person. And just a few caveats. In order to have your vote counted, if you are sitting remotely, you have to have a quorum present in person. Now, all of that being said, the state is still continuing their executive month-to-month orders on remote. So we're doing this sort of in advance when that moment that changes. So the board had asked the staff to create factors that would be considered extraordinary circumstances to allow board members to participate through video conference or other remote tools. That's been included in your packet. I don't know if there's any questions on those specifically. But we need the board to adopt these as extraordinary circumstances.
Questions for Stacy?
Is vacation an extraordinary circumstance?
Yeah, we talked a lot about that, but we came to the unfortunate conclusion that typically those are scheduled in advance.
Unless you're sick.
Or you have-
Fire Joe.
Or have car trouble.
or you have car trouble while on vacation. Yes.
All right.
So, yes.
Okay, Mayor, this came through governance.
It did. Move it forward as a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. Any discussion or suggestions? Let's have a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? I wouldn't think so. Thank you. That's carried. Moving on to executive session, correct?
Yes, I have a number of items to address with the board. All are related to either the lease, purchase, or sale of IDA property.
Thank you. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Thank you, Dan. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going into executive session and the items on that agenda are